Hey, figured we'd do a wine today. What I was just drinking, although gorgeous, it's got some legs to it. It's actually a chocolate raspberry dessert wine. We're not doing that today. We're gonna go ahead and do a Merlot. It's pretty simple. It's a wine kit. Got it for a good deal. Comes with directions. It's pretty basic. Day one, we're adding the packet of juice. We're gonna add water. I'm gonna fill it up with some bottled water, just regular spring water. Tastes great. Day 8, when the gravity is less than 1.010, we're gonna rack it. Then day 20, if the gravity is 0.995, which is extremely dry, or less, I'm guessing it's gonna go to like 0.994 if I had to guess. We're gonna be adding, or we're gonna rack it, I should say. And if you don't remember, racking is when you take it from one container or vessel and transfer it over into another vessel while leaving any sediment at the bottom behind. So like I said, day 20, we're going to rack it and add metabisulfite and Kieselguhr salt. Then 2 days later, we're going to be adding potassium metasulfate. Sorry, potassium sorbate. I'm reading the notes as we go. And it has us adding it to a 1/4 cup warm water, which is fine. That'll kind of cut the wine a teeny bit, but it also helps to dissolve that packet. And these are what they look like. They come in these super easy to understand packets. I mean, wine kits are for anyone to do. And then we would add the chitzosan and then wait another 6 days and then bottle it. Now, the yeast this comes with and the directions it gives, this is a great yeast. This is a pretty typical wine yeast, EC 1118. We'll add the whole pack. You could add half a pack, it really wouldn't matter. If I wanted to be cheap and just do that and save half a pack for later, I could, but they're not expensive. Our starting gravity with filling up to a gallon, the paper says anywhere between 1.080 to 1.095, which is a pretty huge gap. So I'm wondering what it'll be. Let's find out. Now I'm already prepared with my funnel. I don't have to use a funnel, but I don't want to spill it. You know, this stuff is not the easiest to come by. And it also has you able to put it back in the box and just pour it out of there and hold it by the box. I don't like to do that because then you can't rinse it out as well. Can't squeeze the different parts. I'm gonna try my very best not to spill it. Now, so after we pour that all out, it instructs us to put water back in it because all the juice is not out. So that's what I'm gonna do. I got plenty of room in the carboy. Go ahead and snap that back on there. Now this has a lot of sugar into it, or in it I should say. So what we're trying to do is make sure all those sugars are used in the wine itself and don't get left in the bag. Since that is the one ingredient that the yeast use, We want to make sure we get all of it. So I'm going to go ahead and fill the rest with water. Now this is, like I said, spring water. I warmed it up to approximately room temperature, maybe slightly warmer, because the directions, unlike what I've shown you in my last videos where I hydrate the yeast, the directions have us just pour the yeast right in, which is fine. I mean, this yeast is meant for that. The little pieces of yeast that you see aren't actually yeast. They're just basically nutrient little pellets with yeast in them. It's a dry yeast, so it's fine. So I'm going to fill it up to approximately a gallon. Now normally I go ahead and pitch my yeast first, but that's only when I have hydrated the yeast and it contains extra liquid, which would affect the gravity reading. Since adding 1 pack of dry yeast, which is, it's only 5 grams, it's not going to do anything to that. Now, I did that on purpose. I went ahead and added some air into it. Now, if I were done fermenting, that would be a no-no. In fact, I've done that in the past, and it's not good. It could lead to your wine turning into vinegar, but this is just wort. Unfermented wine, unalcoholized, unfermenting, just the juice without the yeast in it, is called wort. Or maybe that's beer. I think that's beer. I'll have to look at what wine or just the juice would be for wine. There's different words for it. I think wort is beer. If you stop the video and we're going off that, I apologize. Wort is for beer. It's basically the same thing though. Now, let's see. This is 1 point, should I write it down? Gives you a spot to write it down in here. 1.089, which is good. Probably because I added the water and got as much sugar out as possible. We'll just pour this back in. Just I want to see what it tastes like. Call me crazy, but I feel like if I at least know what the wine will taste like before it's fermented, it might give me an idea of what it'll taste like after, of course, without the sweetness. Wow. Yeah, it'll be good. And I know I probably say that for everything, but you know I'm not lying. It's a wine kit. Unless you don't like Merlot, which is fine. I'm not a huge dry wine person myself. But we're going to go ahead and shake this up. I don't really think it needs it, but I'm doing this mainly to add oxygen. I don't think it'll affect the gravity reading because when I added all that water, it mixed up enough for me to get an accurate gravity. I want to add as much oxygen as possible. And that way the yeast have the oxygen to start their fermentation. And of course, again, we are using Lalavelin EC1118. Now it said specifically not to stir this. Every wine kit and beer kit, probably every kit you'll ever get, will literally never tell you to hydrate or to even stir. I won't stir. I will shake it around a little, just so I know that they'll get in there. Even if I did rehydrate the yeast, not a big deal. Now we're gonna wait 8 days. Now everything on this sheet is pretty loose as far as directions go. You don't need to follow it to the letter. Hypothetically, if I decided to wait, I don't know, 2 months and have it do primary fermentation, it would be fine. It's not gonna really affect anything. So the last step I'm gonna do is I already have my airlock in its own little bung here. Actually, I'll put the bung in first. And in the airlock, I have Star Sand solution. That way, if there are any bugs, which I don't have too many in this house. Actually, I saw like a fruit fly the other day, just like one, and I was pretty shocked because it's like winter. I mean, it's February. Outside it's snowing. I don't know how a fruit fly got in here, but you know, even if it did crawl in the top of this airlock, it would die before it got anywhere. And with air constantly pushing gases out, no liquid's going to be going in. So if you ever do find yourself with dead bugs in your airlock, you could, you know, probably the prudent thing to do would be to take your airlock, dump it out, maybe wash it, and fill it back up with Star Sand. But if you have your airlock and it's on there, no air's getting in, I don't think any bugs are going to get in. Anyway, that sums it up for this video. Stay tuned for volume 2 of the Merlot.